Sonnets to Orpheus by Rainer Maria Rilke. Translated by A. S. Klein. Translator's Introduction. Rainer Maria Rilke wrote the Sonnets to Orpheus over an intensely creative 3-week period in February 1922, during which he also completed the Duino elegies. The sonnets were prompted by the earlier death of Wera Knoop, a childhood friend of his daughter Ruth, and in them Rilke develops the theme of the double realm of life and death, pursuing, as in the Duino elegies, his desire to more closely integrate what he saw as the valid sphere of death with the claims of life. The descent of Orpheus, the mythical poet-musician of Thrace, into the underworld in a failed attempt to reclaim his dead wife Eurydice, and his subsequent death at the hands of the Bacchant, provided Rilke with the framework of the sonnets. Elements of the Hellenistic Orphic rites of Dionysus may also have influenced Rilke's thinking, in which adherents of the cult sought union with the divine in order to acquire mystic knowledge. The poems also resonate with other deaths which figure elsewhere in his work. Overall, the tone of the sonnets is, however, positive and life-affirming. Rilke's poetry was not, as he himself stated, intended as death-seeking, but rather a celebration of life, and an act of praise, in which death is recognized primarily in terms of the memories of the dead recalled by the human mind and their influence on the living. In that sense, the double realm is certainly both valid and authentic. The translations below do not attempt to recreate the rhyming verse forms used by Rilke, focusing instead on clarity of meaning and poetic intention. The first line in German of each sonnet is given in its heading, while an index of first lines in English is provided at the end. The division of the 55 sonnets into part 1 of 26 poems and part 2 of 29 is Rilke's and reflects their two main phases of composition. Either side of his completion of the Duino elegies, rather than a structural division dictated by poetic form or content. It is recommended that the Duino elegies are read prior to and in conjunction with the sonnets, as the two works illuminate each other, reflecting the interwoven nature of their completion and final editing. Part 1. Sonnet 1. A tree climbed there, O pure uprising, O Orpheus sang, O towering tree of hearing. And all was still, yet even in that hush, a new beginning, hint and change was there. Creatures of silence pressed from the bright, freed forest, out of nest and lair. And they so yielded themselves, that not by a ruse, and not out of fear, were they so quiet in themselves, but simply through listening. Bellow, shriek, roar seemed small in their hearts, and where there was just barely a hut to receive it, a refuge out of their darkest yearnings, with an entrance whose gate-posts trembled, there you crafted a temple for their hearing. 2. And it was almost a girl, and she came out of that single blessedness of song and lyre, and shone clear through her springtime veil, and made herself a bed inside my hearing, and slept within me, and her sleep was all. The trees, each that I admired, those perceptible distances, the meadows I felt, and every wonder that concerned myself. She slept the world. Singing, God, how have you so perfected her that she made no demand to first be awake? See, she emerged and slept. Where is her death? Or will you still discover this theme before your song consumes itself? Where is she falling to? From me? A girl? Almost. 3. A god can do so, but tell me how a man is supposed to follow through the slender lyre. His mind is riven, no temple of Apollo stands at the dual crossing of heart roads. Song, as you have taught it, is not desire, not a proclamation of final achievement. Song is being, a simple thing for a god, but when are we in being? And when does he turn the earth and stars towards us? Young man, this is not your having loved, even if your voice forced open your mouth. Then learn to forget that you sang out. It fades away. To sing in truth is a different breath, a breath of nothing, a gust within the god, a wind. 4. Oh, you tender ones, sometimes progress deep inside the breath not meant for you. Let it part before your face and behind you, tremble once more as it flows together. O you blessed ones, O you healers, who seem to be where the heart begins, arrows fired from the bow and the target, you whose smile ever shines through tears, don't be afraid to suffer the heaviness. Return its weight once more to the earth. Mountains are heavy, the seas are heavy. Even the trees you planted as children soon became too heavy. You cannot bear them, but the air, but the space. 5. Raise no gravestone, only let the rose bloom every year to favor him, since it is Orpheus, his metamorphosis into this and that. We need not strive for other names. Once and for all, it is Orpheus when he sings. He comes and goes. It is not much already that he sometimes stays for a while in the petal of the rose. Oh, he must vanish for you to understand. And though he himself feared his vanishing, even as his word surpasses the being here, he is already there, where you cannot go. The lyre strings fail to constrain his hands, and he responds by his passing beyond. 6. Does he hail from here? No, from both the realms his expansive nature grew. Nowhere bend the branches of willow, so you may understand the willow roots. When you go to bed, leave on the table neither bread nor milk. They bring the dead, but he who is the summoner mingles there under the mild gentleness of eyelids, their apparitions with everything seen, while the magic of rue and fumitory is as true to him as the clearest relation. Nothing lessens a valid form for him. Whether it be in the room or the grave, he praises the jug, the bracelet, the ring. 7. Praising, that's it. One appointed to praise. He emerged like ore from the silent stone. His heart, oh, the transient wine-press among humankind of an inexhaustible wine. When the divine mood grips him, the voice from his mouth never fails. All becomes vineyard, all becomes grape, matured in his sentient south. Neither the must in the tombs of the kings, nor from the gods that a shadow falls, detracts at all from his praising. He's a messenger who always remains, still holding far through the doors of the dead, a dish with fruit they can praise. 8. In the region of praise alone may lament walk, that nymph of the weeping fountain, watching over what flows about us. So it may fall here, bright on the stone that supports the gates and the altar. See, round her motionless shoulders dawns the feeling that she is the youngest among her siblings, here in the mind. Jubilation knows, longing confessed, only laments, still in the process of learning, with childish hands counting her ancient woes. Then suddenly, in the sky, awkward, unpracticed, she holds up our voices, a starry constellation, a concatenation their breath yet fails to cloud. 9. Only one who has raised the lyre, already among the shades, may sense how to return the unending praise. Only one who ate with the dead of the poppy that is their own will not lose the slightest note ever again. Wish even the image in the pond that blurs for us often. Know the reflection. Only within the double sphere will the voices become kind and eternal. 10. To you, never lost from my feelings, you ancient sarcophagi, my greetings, that the glittering water of Roman times flows through like a verse while walking, or that open wide like the charmed eyes of some awakening shepherd in August, full of silence and honeysuckle, out of which joyous butterflies go soaring. All those who are snatched from limbo I greet, all the newly reopened mouths, who know now what true silence means. Are we certain, friends, or uncertain? The juncture of both brings that doubt, shown by the eyes in a human face. 11. Halt the stars! Is there not one called the rider? That which is strangely imprinted within us, that pride of the earth, and then a second, that he urges on and restrains, that bears him? Is not the sinewy nature of being pursued so, and tamed, turned to this side and that by merely the lightest of pressures, into a fresh tract of space, and the two are one? Or are they? Do not either mean the path, that the two of them both travel together, still nameless, between table and field? Though a concatenation of stars deceives, yet we are happy to believe awhile in its configuration, and that is enough. 12. Hail to the spirit that holds us together, since we only exist by shape and form, and in minuscule steps the clock ticks, set beside our actual day. Without knowing our own true place, we achieve real relationship. The antennae feel the antennae, and suffer the distance between. Pure tension, O music of forces! Is it not through a venial struggle that disasters deflected from you, though the anxious farmer labors, so that the seed becomes harvest, it is never enough. Earth must bear. 13. Fullness of apple, pear, blackcurrant, gooseberry, it all speaks life and death. In the mouth, I anticipate. Go read it in some child's face. As they taste it, it comes from afar. Are you slowly becoming nameless in your own mouth? Where there were words, find a flow, strangely surprised from the flesh. Dare to say what an apple is called, the sweetness that deepens within, gently ripening in taste, to become clear, alive, and transparent, ambiguous, sun-kissed, earthy, and here, oh, experience feeling, infinite joy. 14. We are involved with flower, vine, leaf, and fruit. They don't only speak the language of seasons, a vision of color that rises from darkness, betraying perhaps the jealous glances of the dead themselves who enrich the earth. What do we know of her part in this? It has long been her art to brand the clay freely with her distinguishing mark. The question is, does it bring them pleasure? Urging the fruit forth, laboring enslaved, to enclose it and offer it to us, their masters? Are they the powers that sleep in the roots, and indulge us simply out of abundance, something between mute effort and kisses? 15. Wait, that taste. It's already in flood. A slight music only, a throbbing, a murmur. You girls, you warm, you silent ones, dance. The dance of the fruit that's tasted and known. Dance the orange. How could one forget? How drowned in itself it defends itself against its own sweetness. The fruit you possess has been sweetly changed into you. Dance the orange. The warmer landscape, fling it from you so that ripeness may glow in your native air, shining, unveiled, scent after scent. Create the connection with the pure, the resisting rind, with the juice that fills the fortunate mouth. 16. You, my friend, are lonely because, with our words, with our gestures, we gradually make this world our own, our weakest, most perilous perhaps. Who can gesture towards assent? And of the many forces that threaten, you feel a multitude. You know the dead, and shudder at the spell that is cast. See, now is the time to endure the mass, of bits and pieces as if they were whole. To help would be hard. Do not, above all, plant me in your heart. I am growing too swiftly, yet I will guide my master's hand to say, here now, here is Esau in his own pelt. 17. In the depths, ancient tangle, the mass of old roots, the hidden source that is never seen. Spiked helms and hunting horns, speaking of greyness, men in fraternal rage, women like lutes, branch thrusting at branches. None of them free. One there. Oh climb! Oh climb! Though they are broken still, yet the one there, on high, bends to a lyre. 18. Do you hear the new, master, roaring and trembling? The harbingers, heralds come that proclaim it. True, no hearing is whole amidst this raging, but the machine demands that its role be praised. See how the machine heaves and takes its revenge, distorting and weakening us, gaining its strength from us. Let it, without passion, urge us onward and serve. 19. Though the world alters swiftly, like patterns of cloud, all that's perfected returns to its ancient place. Beyond the change and departure, further away and freer. Your prelude still endures, God of the lyre. Suffering is not grasped, love is not learned, nor is that which takes us far off, in death ever unveiled. The song alone, over the earth, celebrates, sanctifies. 20. But to you, Master, what shall I dedicate? To you who taught creatures to listen, a memory of a spring day, its evening in Russia, a horse. From the village a white horse came, alone, a rope at his forefoot, to be fettered alone in the meadow, all night. How his full mane shook over his neck in tune with his spirits, in his roughly hindered gallop, how the fount of the species rose. He felt the vastness deep down, he sang, and he heard your legendary cycle enclosed within. His image I dedicate. 21. Spring has returned once more. The earth is like a child that knows many a poem, many, oh many, for her long labor of learning she has granted this prize. Her teacher was strict, we admired the white of the old man's beard. What, we ask, should the green, the blue be called? She knows, she knows. Earth, in your freedom, lightly you play with the children. We'd love to catch you, joyful earth, for the joyful succeed. Oh, all that the teacher has taught us, the many things printed on roots, and tall intricate stems, she sings, she sings. 22. We are the shoots, but the pace of time treats us as slight, in the ever enduring. Everything urgent will swiftly be gone. Initiate first in us the lingering. Youth, don't brave mere speed, or throw yourself into every attempt to fly. All things here are at rest, the dark and the light, the flower and the book. 23. Oh, only then, when the flight, no longer for its sake alone, soars into the heavenly. Stillness, enough in itself, to sail out lightly in space, with a skill that succeeded in play the wind's darling, rocking there, slender and sure. Only when a pure where-to prevails against youthful pride, in the dynamic ascent. Will it, hastened by victory, close to the far-off distance, be that which it alone reaches? 24. Will we retain our old friendship with the great gods that fail to woo us, our harsh steel raised so sternly, knowing them not, rejecting them now, or suddenly being forced to search them out on our ancient maps? Those formidable friends who bear the dead from us without touching our turning wheels at any point? Our banquets are distanced from them, our bathing removed, and their messengers now far too slow, whom we always overtake, alone now, wholly dependent upon, yet not knowing each other. We no longer treat the paths as lovely meanders, but like flights of steps. In the furnace the old fire burns, there alone, while the hammers are raised in the stream, even larger, while we, like swimmers, lose strength. 25. But you now, you whom I knew like a flower, whose name I did not understand, once more I'll remember, and show them you, stolen one, beautiful player of the unsuppressible cry, a dancer first, sudden one, body filled with hesitation, pausing as if one had cast your young being in bronze, grieving, listening, then from the riches on high, music fell through your altered heart. Illness was close to you, already seized by the shadows. Your blood ran darkly yet, though suspicious of flight, it still drove outwards into your natural springtime. Again and again, broken by darkness and fall, earthbound it gleamed, until after that dreadful pounding it passed through the inconsolable open door. 26. But you, divine one, sounding out till the end, surrounded by the swarm of rejected maenads, have drowned their shrieks with order, lovely one, out of the chaos your music rose in reply. None could destroy your head or your lyre. How they rushed to attack you, how the sharp stones they hurled at your heart were melted in you and endowed there with hearing. Finally, urged by revenge, they shattered you, while your sound still lingered in lions, in stones, and in birds and trees. You're still sinking there. O lost God, O everlasting sign of the way, only through enmity that tore you to shreds are we, the hearers, a mouth for nature. Part 2. 1. Breath, you, invisible poem, always about individual, being, pure exchange of space, counterweight, through which I rhythmically exist. Single wave whose eventual sea I am, you, the sparest of possible seas, gainer of space. How many of these spaces were places already within me? Many a breeze is like some child of mine. Do you know me, air, filled with my former places? You once smooth bark, bowl and leaf of my words. 2. Just as the master, sometimes in haste, strikes a true line from the paper drawn near, so a mirror will often draw the divinely unique smile of some girl deeper within, as she faces the morning alone or in the gleam of the evening lights, and upon the breath of the real face, later descends the merest reflection. What did her eyes discern in the ashes, long smouldering there in the earth? Glimpses of life vanished forever. Oh, who can know of our losses on earth? Only those whose voices, nonetheless, praise, who sing of the heart, born to wholeness. 3. Mirror, none have ever truly described what you are in your being. You like a sieve full of nothing but holes, filled with intervals of time. You who squander the empty hallway when evening falls, as in some far forest, and the chandelier, a 16-point stag, vanishes into your inaccessibility. Sometimes you are full of paintings. Some seem to have settled within you, others you have shyly sent on their way. but the loveliest will remain, until into those frames contained within, bright Narcissus, dissolving, enters. 4. Oh, this is the creature that has never been. They never knew it, and yet, none the less, its movements, aspects, slender neck, up to the still bright gaze, were loved. True it never was, yet it was, through their love, a pure creature. They left it room enough, and in that space, clear and unpeopled, it raised its head lightly, and scarcely needed being. It was never nourished with food, but only the possibility of being. And that gave the creature such power, that a horn grew from its brow, one horn. In its whiteness it drew near a virgin girl, and was in the silvered mirror, and in her. 5. Flowery unfolding, that of the windflower, gradually opening in the meadow, until the polyphonic light pours into its lap from the sonorous sky, into the silent starry flower, unfolding in endless reception, sometimes so overwhelmed by abundance that the lulling sense of falling is scarcely capable of returning. Those far-flung borders of leaf to you, enduring strength of how many worlds? We, the violent ones, last longer, but when, and in which of all our lives are we finally open receptors? 6. Rose, you enthroned one, to those in ancient times you were a single-rimmed chalice, but to us you are the full, countless flower, the inexhaustible object. In your richness you seem like fold on fold, clothing a baby of nothing but splendor, yet at the same time your single leaf is refusal, avoidance of every garment. For centuries your scent has called out to us its sweetest name. Suddenly it's like fame here in the air. Still, we don't know what to call it. We guess, and the memory we summon goes to meet it from sweet hours recalled. 7. Flowers at the end, you find hands arranging you, the hands of young girls, now as long ago. You who lie end to end on the table, wearied and tenderly hurting, waiting for water so you might revive, in the death that's already begun, then be. Suddenly raised between moistened tips of sensitive fingers that soothe you far more than you thought them able to, delicate ones, on finding yourselves again in some vase, slowly cooling, warmth like a girlish confession of dull, wearisome sins, flowing from you, who celebrate being culled, warmth like a bond with them who thrive in communion with you. 8. In Memoriam, Egon von Rilke. You few childhood playmates long ago, in gardens scattered throughout the city, how we found and hesitantly liked each other, and, like the lamb with its written scroll, spoke silently. When we found delight, no one owned to it. Who was it then? How it dissolved among those going by, and in the anxieties of the endless year. Carts passed by us, vanishing strangers, houses surrounded us, solid but untrue. None knew us, what was real in it all. Only the ball flung high, its glorious arc. Not even the children, though, sometimes one. Oh, a vanishing one beneath its fall. 9. Judges, don't boast that torture's redundant, that necks no longer bow beneath chains. Nothing's enhanced, not one heart, because a longed-for spasm of tenderness melts you. The scaffold returns what it received through the ages, like a child re-giving the presents from its last birthday. Into the high, pure, foolishly open heart, the God of true mercy would walk. Otherwise, he would come powerfully, seize us more radiantly, as a God will, more than the breeze round an anchored ship, not less than the secret, quiet awareness that in silence subdues us within, like the gentle play of the child of an infinite pairing. 10. The machine would threaten all we have done, if it dared to exist in spirit, not simply serve us. Lest the controlling hand show a sweet hesitation, it cuts the stone more exactly, to build more firmly. It never lingers long enough for us to escape it, to leave it oiled to itself in the silent factory. It is life, and thinks it best if the exact same intent arranges all, and creates and destroys. But for us, existence is still enchanted, our origin 100 places, a play of pure forces. No one encounters without kneeling in admiration. Words are still sensitive to the unsayable, and music, ever renewed from quivering stone, still builds its heavenly house in unusable space. 11. Many calmly ordered norms for death have arisen, since ever-conquering man insisted on hunting. More than the snare and the net, I know you, you strips of canvas, hanging in caves of karst. You were set there quietly, as though as a signal to celebrate peace. But then a lad shook the edge, and from some cavern the night threw a handful of pale fluttering doves to the light. Yet that too is lawful. May the hunter not experience regret, nor the onlooker either, for such an act, though it be vigilant, prompt in its action. Killing's a grievous form of our straying, while what happens within ourselves is pure to the calm and serene spirit. 12. Will transformation. Oh, long for the flame where a thing escapes you, splendid in change, that designing spirit, master of what is earth, loves only the turning point in the form's curve. What closes itself to endure already freezes. Does it feel safe in the refuge of drabbest grey? Wait, the hard's warned by the hardest. From far away, a blow, the absent hammer is drawn back. Who pours out like a spring, knowing knows him, and leads him delighted through the bright creation. That often ends with the start, and begins with the end. Every fortunate space is a child or grandchild of parting, whose passing through amazes, and Daphne, altered, since she became laurel, wants you to alter to breeze. 13. Be in front of all parting, as though it were now, behind you, like the winter gone by. because among winters is one so endlessly winter, only by overwintering does your heart still survive. Be always dead in Eurydice, climb with more singing, climb with praising back to the pure relation. Here in the failing place, the exhausted realm, be a sounding glass that rang as it shattered. Be, and know, at that time, the state of non-being, the infinite ground of our deepest vibration, so that you may wholly complete it this one time, in both the used up and the hollow and dumb, recourse of all nature, the untellable sum. Joyfully count yourself one and destroy the number. 14. See the flowers, those so true to the earth, to whom we lend fate from the margin of fate. But who knows if they regret withering? It is for us to be their regret. All would soar, only we walk round complaining, laying down self from it all, delighted with weight. Oh, to think that wearisome teachers we are, while endless childhood succeeds in them. Let someone fall into profound slumber, and sleep deeply with things. Oh, how easily they'd come differently to a different day from the mutual deep, or perhaps remain, and flowers would bloom and praise their convert. One now, like them, all those mute brothers and sisters in the winds of the fields. 15. O fountain mouth, you giver, you mouth, inexhaustible speaker of one pure thing, you marble mask in the flowing face of water, and in the land behind the aqueduct's sources, from further, past graves, from Apennine slopes, they bring you your speech, that then, past the darkened age of your chin, falls down to the basin below. This is the sleeping recumbent ear, the marble ear you always speak to, an ear of the earth. She only talks to herself like this. Place a jug there. It seems to her that you have interrupted. 16. Torn open by us, again and again, the God is the place that heals. We are the eager ones, seeking to know, while he is joyously scattered. Even the pure, the sacred offering, he receives in no other way into his world than by being himself the free pole, both counterpoised and unmoving. Only the dead drink from the source we but heard here, when the God silently beckons them, the dead. We are offered only its sound, while the lamb, with its greater feeling for silence, seeks out the bell. 17. Where, in what blissfully watered garden, on what leafless trees, from what tender blossom, do the strange fruits of consolation ripen? Those delicacies found in the trampled meadow, perhaps of your need. Do you sometimes wonder at the size of the fruit, at its wholeness, its softness of the rind? How some careless bird failed to be there before you, or a jealous worm from beneath? Are there trees where angels perch, slowly, strangely, tended by hidden gardeners, so they sustain us without them being ours? Have we ever been able, we shades, we shadows, with our too quickly ripe, swift decaying actions, to disturb the summer's serene equanimity? 18. Dancer, oh movement, vanishing in passing, how you performed. And that whirl at the end, a sapling swaying, did it not take possession of this harsh year? Did it not bloom so you earlier motion suddenly surrounded its crown of silence? And above, wasn't that summer the sun, the warmth, the undying warmth in you? It bore fruit too. Fruits, your tree of rapture, aren't these they, the richly striped pitcher, and there the more slowly maturing vase? And in the portraits, does not the sketch remain that the line of your darkened brow drew on the whirling about of its whirling? 19. In the bank somewhere, gold is accommodated. It lives on close terms with the thousands. But here, the blind beggar is like the location of some lost coin, is akin to some dusty corner under the cupboard. Money, it would seem, is at home in the stores. Clothing itself, there in silk, furs, carnations. He, the silent one, stands here where it pauses for breath, all that wealth, sleeping or waking. Oh, how does it close at night, that ever open hand, pale and wretched and wholly destructible. Tomorrow fate overtakes it, extends it to all. If but one watcher might comprehend and praise, in amazement, that endless feat of endurance, sayable to those who sing, audible to the god. 20. The stars, how distant, yet how much further. What is found here? One, for example, a child, and beside that child a second, another. Oh, how unbelievably distant! Fate measures us with being's measure, perhaps, such that to us it seems strange. Think of the distance between woman and man, whenever she moves apart and considers him. All's distance, nowhere the circle closes. Look at the bowl on the neatly laid table, at the peculiar face of the fish. Fish are dumb, people say, but who knows? Is there not, in the end, a place where one might speak the language of fish without speaking it? 21. Sing those gardens, my heart, that you know nothing of, like gardens enclosed in clear glass, unattainable. Those fountains and roses of Isfahan, Shiraz, sing them as blessed, praise them incomparable. Show, my heart, that you are never deprived of them, that their ripening figs are still meant for you, that with them you frequent, midst blossoming branches, the swelling breeze that caresses the face. Avoid the mistake of fearing some deprivation as a result of that decision once made, to be. Silken thread, you are a part of the weave, whatever the image you are joined to within, be it only for a moment, in a life of pain. Feel that the whole of the glorious tapestry is meant. 22. Oh, despite fate, the glorious effervescence of our existence overflowing in parkland, or as stone statues carved beside keystones bearing the arches, treed beneath balconies. Oh, the brass bell that raises its clapper each day against dull everyday life, or that pillar in Karnak, that column that outlasts the eternal temples, Today, in the same way, that overabundance soars past, from the horizontal yellow of day to the blinding outflow of night. Though the tumult fades, leave no trace behind, the arcs of airy flight. Those that create them are perhaps not nothing, but those once merely imagined. 23. Summon me to that hour, among those of yours that endlessly resists you, close and imploring like a dog's face, but turning away as you think, at last, you might finally comprehend it. What is elusive is yours, most of all. We are free, we are released from that which we thought had made us welcome. Anxious, we long for something to hold, often too young for what is ancient, too old for what never existed. We truly hear only when we praise. We that, alas, are the branch and the axe, and the sweetness of ripening danger. 24. Oh, the delight ever new of loosened soil! There was scant help for the earliest venturers, yet cities rose beside fortunate bays. Water and oil nonetheless filled the jars. Gods, in bold strokes we define them, which fate morosely erases again and again, and yet they are the immortals. Behold, we may in the end obey those who listen. We, one species, through the millennia, parents filled evermore with the child we bear, that will one day shake, then transcend us, we endlessly daring what time we have yet, and only death silently knows what we are, and what's gained from what's lent to us. '25. Listen, can you hear the first plough, already laboring the human rhythm, once more in the subdued silence of early spring's winter-hardened soil? It never seems banal what is to come. What came to you so many times before seems now to reappear, as if it were new, ever longed for. You never seized it, it seized you. Even the leaves of once wintry oak trees shine in the evening with color to come. Sometimes the breeze exchange a sign. The bushes are black, yet the heaps of dung are an even deeper black in the fields. Every hour that goes by seems younger. 26. How we are moved by the bird's call, some single screech uniquely created, yet the children scream as they play, outdoors beyond the need for screaming. Screaming at random into this world space, of cosmic space into which the whole bird call enters, as people enter our dreams. They drive their screams like wedges. Oh, where are we? Ever more freely, like the loose dragon kites we chase, at half height, brimming with laughter, torn by the wind. God of song, so order the screaming throng that, in rushing, they waken a flowing current, bearing the head and the lyre. 27. Does it truly exist, time the destroyer, on the silent hill? Will it raise the castle? Will the demiurge then violate you, heart that forever belongs to the gods? Are we really so dreadfully fragile as fate would have us believe? Is the promise deep at the roots of childhood, afterwards stilled. Oh, the ghost of the transient, through receptive innocence, passes like smoke, as that which we are, the doers, we apply to that which remains, the godlike strength of the known. 28. Oh, come and go, you, almost a child still, add, for a moment your dance move into the pure constellation of dances, in which dull, orderly natures transiently overcome, for she was stirred to total hearing only when Orpheus sang. You were still moved by those things, and easily surprised if any tree took time to follow after you into the listening. You still knew the place where the lyre was lifted in sound, the unheard center. For it, you tried out your lovely steps, in hope to turn one day your friend's face, and course towards healing celebration. 29. Quiet friend of the many distances, feel how your breath still enlarges space. Let yourself ring out a dark cradled bell in the timbering, that which erodes you, gains a strength from your sustenance. Go out and in, through transformation. What do you know of the greatest loss? Is drinking bitter? Then become wine. Be in this night made of excess, the magic art at the crossroads of senses, the feel of their strange encounter. And if the earthbound forget you, say to the silent earth, I flow, to the rushing water, I am. End of Sonnets to Orpheus by Rainer Maria Rilke.